Blazer Reef at Valdosta State University is home to 6 fish: a yellow tang, a royal grama bassalet, a blue tang, a clownfish, and 2 blue chromies. Many of these fish are recognizable from the film Finding Nemo. Pixar put a lot of research into the film, and many of the fish in our tank have the same personality they had in the movie. Take the yellow tang. In the movie, Bubbles is extremely curious, and our tang is as well. The yellow tang will follow the cleaner, and it's always darting around inspecting different nooks and crannies in the tank. Yellow tangs are most commonly found in shallow reefs near Hawaii and are herbivores that mainly eat algae. While algae are typically thought to be plants, they are actually a type of microscopic plankton called phytoplankton because they photosynthesize like plants. This is an extremely important role in coral reefs because if herbivores did not exist, then algae would overgrow and kill the corals, taking away an extremely diverse habitat. Yellow tangs are preyed upon by large fish, crabs, and octopi. Although to our eyes, yellow tangs appear a bright yellow, to other fish, they're actually extremely well camouflaged to the surrounding reef. They also have sharp fins for defense. The royal grama bassalet was also in Finding Nemo as the germaphobe gurgle. In our tank, the royal grama is extremely territorial, and this is a common behavior of this species. When the royal grama feels threatened, it opens up its mouth extremely wide to try and scare away the intruder. Royal gramas are carnivores that eat microscopic animals called zooplankton and sometimes small crustaceans. They are eaten by eels and large fish such as grouper and snapper. Royal gramas originate from deep water Caribbean reefs. In Finding Nemo, 2 of the main characters were clownfish named Nemo and Marlin. They had very different personalities and lived in the sea anemone. Clownfish typically have mutualistic relationships with anemones, meaning that both animals benefit from their interactions. The clownfish gets a home and protection from predators such as large fish and eels, while the anemone gets food from the clownfish. The clownfish in Blazer Reef does not have a relationship with either anemone in the tank. This is because, unlike in the wild, the clownfish and all the other fish in the tank are at the top of the food chain. Therefore, the clownfish does not need protection from the anemone. Clownfish are omnivores, meaning that they eat both zooplankton and algae. One of the most popular and memorable characters from Finding Nemo is the blue tang named Dory. In the movie, she has an extremely short memory and is always darting around getting into something. The blue tang in Blazer Reef is similar, always dashing in between corals and finding new crevices to explore. Blue tangs are most commonly found in the coral reefs of the Indo-Pacific, especially around Fiji. Blue tangs are herbivores that eat seaweed and algae, and they are preyed upon by larger fish such as tuna and grouper. Their main defense against predation is their bright coloration to ward off predators, and the fact that they often travel in groups. The 2 blue chromies in Blazer Reef are the only fish not found in Finding Nemo. However, when they are in large groups in the wild, their shiny reflective scales often remind people of these guys from the movie. Although the Blazer Reef only has 2 chromies, they form large groups or schools in the wild. They are most commonly found in shallow lagoons in the Indo-Pacific. Blue chromies are omnivores, eating both algae and small zooplankton, and are preyed upon by large fish including grouper and snapper. As you have seen, the fish in Blazer Reef are all either herbivores that eat phytoplankton or other photosynthetic organisms, omnivores that eat both phytoplankton and zooplankton, or carnivores that eat animal-like zooplankton. This means that they all occupy the same trophic level and serve a similar purpose on the food chain. A trophic level can be thought about like a level on a food pyramid. Producers, which include photosynthetic plants and algae, are at the bottom, while predators such as sharks are at the top. The fish in Blazer Reef occupy the level just above the producers because they feed on the producers and microscopic organisms and are eaten on by larger fish. The fish and the rest of the organisms in Blazer Reef work together to form a microenvironment, even though they come from different regions of the world's oceans.